Well, welcome back. Grab a paper and pen. Today we're going to be talking about portability, right? So that's going to be your portability. Just make sure you send me a message if you're interested in the PDF. Sal Cosentino, Chief Executive Officer, Cloud Architect, and Trainer. What if I told you that your applications could move between on-premise data centers, AWS, and Azure without rewriting a single line of code? No downtime? No downtime? No security gaps? And definitely no vendor lock-ins. That's the power of portability, especially in a hybrid cloud architecture. Today I'm going to break down what portability really means, why organizations get it wrong, and the correct architectural approach to implement it professionally. Portability in a hybrid cloud is the ability to move a workload across environments, right? So you're moving something from point A to point B, right? You're moving something between point A, point B environments, whether it's in an on-premises environment or whether it's just in a cloud, right? Or in a cloud. Doesn't matter, right? And there's your cloud. Without even changing application code, important security policies, and operational processes. The true meaning of portability means the same runtime environment everywhere, right? Same security posture, again, everywhere. Same networking model, everywhere. Same deployment mechanism, everywhere. If you need to rewrite code or design infrastructure to move a workload, that's not portability. That's migration. Right? Portability has a symmetry, that's architectural. How does a plane get over two clouds? It flies through it, or it flies over it, or it flies under it. Hybrid clouds need portability. They do. They need the portability. Hybrid cloud exists because organizations need disaster recovery. They need high availability. They need regulatory compliance. They need data residency control. They need cloud scalability. But without portability, disaster recovery becomes complex. You're increasing vendor lock-ins, cost rises, recovery time increases, and your security models, they fragment. Portability transforms hybrid cloud from a deployment model into something that's operational, or an operational model, right? In layman's terms. Everything's got to run in a container. Something packages the application. Kubernetes orchestrates it. Docker packages the, as an example. Why? Because containers abstract the application from infrastructure. You don't need to be an engineer to know that or to say that. Because containers abstract the application, right? It runs either in a on-premises environment that's a VMware, it runs in an EKS, or runs in an AKS, right? If you're an Azure and Amazon guru. And all Kubernetes all of them are Kubernetes, sorry, and then your app sees the same runtime everywhere, right? Kate, Kubernetes. There's no environment specific builds needed here. I'm telling you. You want to talk about infrastructure as a code, or IAC, uppercase I, lowercase a, uppercase C? Yeah, portability requires consistency there. We're using Terraform for infrastructure. And whatever application you want for Kubernetes within your deployments, right? That should deploy to either your on premises or both your AWS and Azure. You know, we don't think Terraform, we don't think Kubernetes versions. We think where we can scale. Are we exposed to risk? Where are we exposed to risk? Are we dependent on one vendor? How fast can we recover? How fast can we launch? Are we spending efficiently? Are we spending our time efficiently? Our time efficiently. How do you translate that portability approach? Right? We talk about deploying, well, when I said deploying um, Terraform, for example, on deployed on the on-premises AWS and Azure, no manual builds. There's no manual builds here. You have fewer human errors, you have fewer outages. And obviously, for me, that would reduce reputational risk and downtime risk. And I don't see that. Speed speed to market advantage. You know, if a code deploys anywhere, the company can open the new region quickly. They can expand internationally. They can add a new cloud provider if needed. If workloads can deploy equally, the campus isn't trapped. That's leverage. To me, that equals leverage in pricing negotiation. That's a strategic power. Where's the vendor negotiation power? That's a strategic power, not a vendor negotiation power. Remember, leverage in pricing negotiates. Business continuity confidence, especially critical in any scenario. I think you know you talk about the infrastructure as a code. They can be rebuilt exactly. Disaster recovery isn't really improvised. Recovery is systematic. Yeah, recovery is systematic. With or without infrastructure as a code, complexity grows. It doesn't have to exponential or exponentiify, if I'm not using the right word, but right, not exponentially, let's say. Right? And that's a controlled growth, like instead of just a technical debt. That's a debt now. That is a debt. Come on, let's be realistic. For real, I'll tell you something right now. Um, what does this cost? How does this how long before the return on investment? Did we talk like sometimes you got to think about that in a hybrid cloud solution, and talking about the that kind of stuff. Are you over engineering it? Are you over engineering this? What is the execution risk? Right? I want to eliminate vendor lock-in. I want to shorten the recovery time under 30 minutes, for example. You know, and that allows us to deploy services that are 40, 60% faster. And then on top of that, you're with that you're compliant and it's consistent. That becomes a business value. If you start answering in technical language, you lose the room. If you answer like what I just said, reducing outage portability, eliminates vendor lock-in, under 30, let's say 30 minutes, allows us to deploy new services, right? And that's about 40 to 60% faster, right? With XYZ, with consistent compliance as well, too, right? So, you know, if I were to grade this, you know, it's all about the simplicity, right? Do we have like for example, I don't need to worry about if we have people who can maintain this. Do we have people that can maintain this? Are we over architecting before skill even actually demands it? Where's the complexity, right? So here's the real test. If tomorrow, let's say for example, tomorrow's AW S prices doubles, right? Are we stuck? If one region fails, can we rebuild in hours? If we require another building, can we integrate them quickly? How fast? If the answer is yes, because of infrastructure portability, then this architecture is strategically strong. From me, the CEO standpoint, right? What's powerful is strategic mobility with with you yourself reducing that operational sense, right? And maintaining the consistency across the clouds is technical. You know, we don't care. I don't care about Terraform on a thing. I don't care about service mesh. I don't care about tools. I don't care about Kubernetes. I care about, are we safe? I care about, can we recover fast? Are we wasting money? Are we stuck with one vendor? Can we grow quickly? Less chance of public failure, right? I'm reducing risk. How can I help the business grow faster? Can we grow without even slowing down? Can we grow without even slowing down? If everything works on in a hybrid cloud between, let's say, AWS and Azure, or AWS and Google Cloud, are you not trapped? If one provider increases the price, can you move? Can we negotiate power and control? Think about it. Like, can we stay running even during problems? Right? It makes costs more predictable, right? Does that mean more stable operating costs? Like, is this too complicated? Do we have the right team to manage it? Where's your team? Are you actually building more than what you need right now? What's the return on investment? I'm worried about it becoming a business decision, not a technical one. Me. Listen, architecture isn't about control. It means that, you know, this, like, campuses, locations, uh, wherever buildings aren't dependent on just one location, one system, or even one vendor, one vendor, one third party, one person in a group. Not one to one, it's one to many. It means we can grow without even rebuilding everything each time, right? It means that even things are protected even during technical problems, right? And from my point of view, it's not about technology, it's about stability, it's about business continuity. It's about flexibility. It's about long-term protection of that organization, right? In the end, portability isn't just an IT strategy, it's a business protection strategy, right? Right. I'll see you in the next one.